All right, so now when it comes to the reproduction or the replacement part for the cable here, we have some very basic white plugs on each end of the wires here. And thankfully, we don't need to do a whole lot when assembling this thing to the circuit board, or the sound board, I should say, because these three are going to go on the inside of the board itself. This brown wire is going to be attached to this black wire, which has a little wire knot on top of it. And then this plug here is going to go back into the shell of the tender itself. And then finally, this one is going to be connected to the frame of the tender. So without further ado, let's go ahead and show you guys how we do it. Or how I do it, I mean. All right, so here's the old wire, which has been disassembled. Now let's go ahead and work on the new wire. And finally, we're going to twist our new brown wire onto this black wire here, and then get our wire knot. And there we go, just as simple as that. Now the last thing we have to do is to put the little silver clips back in place. That's not good. Let's put the tender back in. All right, so finally, before we reassembled everything, make sure to get the plug here and place it back into the top part of the tender, because this part is very important, and that's because this plug is for the backup light. So once again, make sure everything is fully reassembled before reassembling everything on the tender itself. And also, I forgot to mention this earlier before, but if you have the screws for the underside of the tender, make sure to keep this little, like a little Dixie cup or a glass jar on hand, just like I have here. So now, with that being said, let's go ahead and reassemble the New York Central Commodore Vanderbilt Streamline tender. All right, there we are. So now for the moment of truth, and actually better yet, let's go ahead and put the battery back in now that we have everything fully reassembled. There we go, click it back into place. And we'll put the cover back on. All right, so now for the moment of truth. Let's go ahead and take this on up to the layout, and we'll find out if this restoration was a success or a dud. All right, well, as you can see, the chuffing inside the locomotive is working beautifully again. The whistle sounds great, the bell sounds excellent, and I couldn't be more happier with how this whole restoration went. And this was actually my first time working with electronics, so A+ for me, I guess. And as a little bit of a side note, if you guys recall, I mentioned that the new tether had 5 little metal pins in here originally. So I took like an extra pin out of the broken tether that I had in the tender originally, and I placed it inside of the new tether. So now there's 6 pins sticking out. They should be able to work very well for another couple of years or so, as long as they don't break on me. And just for a little future advice, like I always said, or like I said in the beginning, make sure when you're done running the train, you got to make sure you put the plug or the little sleeve back on the plug here, or else you'll end up risking bending those you'll risk bending those little metal pins, and therefore your tender might not, or your sound system might not work again. I guarantee that. But overall, like I said, I'm very satisfied, and I'm hoping to do something like this again in the near future in case I have another situation like this with any other of my older Lionel locomotives. So, as always, I hope you all have enjoyed watching. As always, my name is Mike. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Don't forget to hit the notification bell down below for any other projects that I upload. And as always, I will see you guys in my next video. Take care.